Happy Friday. Coming off a winning 2-1 night yesterday, and we got a huge show for you today. Let's talk some basketball. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back in to another episode for Just a Bet Outside. I'm your host, Steven, and we are here on our final NBA video of 2023 to talk some more basketball. That's right, coming off that 2-1 day yesterday, finally had a winning day. We'll get into the bets recap and all that in a little bit. This isn't our last video, though. We will have the NFL player props video come out late Friday night for Week 17 NFL. Go check out the game bets video out now for Week 17. What an unbelievable year 2023 was here on the channel. It was absolutely just a dream come true for us. But we had 18,643 new subscribers this year, and we had 1,214,352 views this year so far. It's just been unbelievable. I cannot thank you guys enough. I've been wanting to talk sports and do something like this my entire life, and now the dream is becoming true. And it's because of you guys. So I have a few thank yous you're going to have to just put up with before we get to the end because we're at the end of the year and I got to reflect. So quick shout out and thank you to my wife. She is freaking awesome. You guys don't realize it, but the sacrifice she makes, she still works 3, 4 days a week as a hygienist and comes home and has to deal with me working all night, late nights. And we get a little bit less time. So it's been a big sacrifice for her. So I cannot thank her enough. She's the reason I'm doing this. She wanted me to follow my dream. So that's pretty cool. Also, thank you to my buddy Ryan. You guys know him. He has sacrificed a ton of time. He has a full time job, he has a family, and he just comes home from work and gets this done, works late at night, sacrifices a lot of time with them to help you guys to make these videos look good and to help with the info and stuff like that. Because let me tell you, if he wasn't here, these videos would not look anything like they are right now. So that's awesome. And a huge shout out and thank you to all you Jabo followers. Thank you for following us day in and day out. It's just been unbelievable, really. Taking time out of your day to listen to us, taking time to comment, to like, and my whole goal was to build a community that I can talk sports with, talk betting with, and of course, we got to stay positive, and that's what's happened this year. I appreciate it. Honestly, when we get a negative comment in the comment section, I see like 10 guys jump on them. I mean, it's just unbelievable. I love the positivity. You guys are helping each other out. And of course, the Discord, which is getting closer and closer to 3,000 members. Lots of winners in there, lots of fun talk, sports, and sometimes not sports. So, but overall, this channel has just been just a blessing for us. It's been incredible. We've had a ton of fun in it or with it. It's only our first full year, so we plan on continuing to try to improve this channel for you guys, including my background, which is just it needs to change, and it's going to change soon. But we're working on some things. But either way, guys, thank you guys so much for an incredible 2023. Let's end it with a bang, and hope everyone has a safe and happy or fun New Year's. But again, we do have one more football video before the end of the year, so that's what we got. Enough of that. Now, in this video, we're going to recap yesterday, a nice winning day. And because we missed some positions, we're going to go over two positions today. We're going to talk power forwards and centers, the big men. Defense has given up the most points and the most rebounds to those positions. We're going to take a peek inside the lines, talk ATS and over-unders because it's Friday and that's what we got to do. And then I'm going to give you my best bets. And then we got that Friday parlay. My goodness, are we due to win one of those? And then we'll recap it with the bets recap. So that's what we got. Hit that like button, leave a comment like you guys have been doing every single day this year, and hit that subscribe button. We are now over, or not over, almost to 19,000 subscribers, on our way to 20. Just been pretty incredible. So anyways, that's what we got. Thanks for listening to my little rant, but I appreciate every single one of you. So let's get into it, and it starts with the bets recap. All right, 2-1 night, and it started out with Laurie marking over 7.5 rebounds. He ended with 10, I believe, actually, maybe 9. I could be wrong, but either way, he got us a winner in the fourth quarter. Second bet, my freaking goodness, Jamal Murray under 6.5 assists, Nuggets money line. Nuggets won easily. Jamal Murray turned into freaking whoever it is you want to say, Steve Nash, Jason Kidd. He was unbelievable. He had this at halftime. Again, I repeat, he has gone under 6.5 assists in 77% of his games, and he has 7 at halftime. He only ended with 9, but the first half was just an absolute shit show. I'm trying to get into unders because I know that we have to be profitable long term. These books are getting sharp, but then I bet an under, and something like that happens. It makes me not want to do it again, but I'm just complaining. I will do unders again, of course, but that was a loss. And then Tyler Hero, 20 plus points was the added bet. along with Anthony Simons 20 plus and Miles Bridges 15 plus. As you see, Simons is crossed out. He was a late scratch due to illness. Seems like a lot of people are sick out there, including almost my entire family. But Tyler Hero, 20 plus points. He got that decently easy. I think he ended with 26. Miles Bridges, 15 plus points. Got that pretty easily. I think he ended with 20. So that was a nice winner. It's a smaller winner, not a full unit because one of them got crossed out, but still a nice night. 61 and 45, up 13.40 units now on those player props. 78.64, up over 10 units for the year. So let's keep it rolling. But before we get any of the best bets or the parlay or anything like that, let's talk the big men. All right, we start with the power forward position, and those are the 10 defenses giving up the most points to the power forwards. We start with the Pacers giving up over 33 points a game to that position. That is absolutely terrible. Again, this is in the last 15 days, and you got Pistons, Hornets, pretty big drop off, though, after the Pacers. And then over there on the right are the 10 power forwards averaging the most points per game last 15 days. Mr. Kawhi Leonard of the Clippers on a roll, 31.3 points per game in the last 15 days, followed by Kevin. I have 16 assists per game now. Durant, 28 points per game. Giannis, 26.9. LeBron, no real surprises here. Marketing making his way up now, averaging 25, but he has not played the full last 15 days, I don't think. And then other than that, we've used all these guys before. Julius Randle, Cat, Boncaro. I think I've used all these guys against the Pacers, to be honest with you. But that's the power forward points position. Now let's head over to the rebounds. And there it is. The Bulls are giving up the most rebounds to the power forward position at 12.07. But let's look over to the right. We got Giannis leading the way with Cat, Marketing, a lot of the same guys. Jalen Johnson just came back for the Atlanta Hawks. Big piece for them, averaging 9 rebounds per game, but I don't believe he's played the whole 15 days either. And then a guy we haven't mentioned, I don't think ever this year, Bobby Portis Jr. of the Bucks, averaging 8.9 rebounds per game. So on and so on. Mr. Jabari Smith Jr. I'm still mad at him for a few days ago, but he's averaging 8.1 rebounds per game. So since we're doing power forwards and centers, we're not going to do assists. There's really not a big difference, and I don't think you should really use that too much when it comes to assists for these guys. But anyways, that's the points and rebounds. Let's move over now to the center position. We're going to try to make up for a little lost time earlier this week and do two positions today, like I said. Points given up to centers, the Wizards 29.95, followed by the Hornets, Spurs, Mavericks have been struggling, Pistons. A lot of these teams are just terrible teams. Not the Mavericks, but if you look at four of the top five, it's probably four of the worst teams there are in the NBA right now. So over there on the right, the man, Joel Embiid, 39.8 points per game. We'll see when he comes back from injury. But Anthony Davis, 29.6, Jokic, Sengun, really no surprises here. Chet Holmgren having a good rookie season, averaging 18.9 points per game. Still trying to get that rookie of the year if it's possible over Wemby, but we'll see. And then Valanciunas and then Jared Allen makes an appearance, averaging 16.7 points per game. Let's go check out the rebounds for the center position now. And of course, we got the Wizards and the Hornets and the Spurs right there in three of the top four. Nuggets, surprisingly, up there, giving up 16.81 rebounds per game to the center position. That's probably on the nights that Jokic is just not feeling like rebounding because it's just too much work. And then over there on the right, now I know Jalen Duren has not played the whole last 15 days, so take that for what it is. Check out how many games he has actually played, but he's averaging 15 rebounds per game. We cashed a few bets on him early in the year. He's been hurt a lot this season. He's a good piece for Detroit. A good piece meaning he might help them win another game this year. And then Nurkic for Phoenix, 13 rebounds per game, and Bede, so on and so on. Lot of the same freaking players, except we got Rudy Gobert and Capella down there, averaging 11.3 rebounds per game. So that's the power forward and the center position. Take some screenshots. Hopefully this helps you go get some winners of the player props. Again, we do point guards Monday all the way through Friday with the center position. This week was a little different because of the holidays, but that's what we got. And since it's Friday, let's take a peek inside the lines. All right, last week we did the home and away splits. This week we are just going to do the against the spread numbers overall. We got the Oklahoma City Thunder. That's right, I'll call them the Thunder today. 28-1 against the spread this year. They are now the new number one team against the spread in the league. And that plus 5.6, if you are new to the channel and haven't seen this before, ATS plus minus, that is the average amount of points that the team covers the spread by. So they're covering it by 5.6. And then we got the Sixers, Magic, Rockets, teams that have been up there for a while. Brooklyn Nets fell a little bit, Pelicans, so on and so on. Utah Jazz a 16, 14-1, not too shabby for that team. But that's what we got for the against the spread teams. Hopefully that helps you guys out, the ones that like to bet, against the spread or money line parlays or whatever it is. But this kind of gives you an idea on how teams are playing compared to what the market sets it at and things like that. So now let's go check out the over/under records. The best over teams on the left, the best under teams in the NBA on the right. The Indiana Pacers still holding it down, but they've been going under a little bit more lately. The books have caught up, and they're not flying as high as normal. 28-2. That means 20 over, 8 under, and 2 are pushes. So they're going over by 9.2. That number was up close to 20 earlier this year. It was absolutely crazy. And then we got the Spurs, but going over only by 2 points per game. And the Milwaukee Bucks, they are quite the over machine, that's for sure, because they don't play much D, but they know how to score. And they're going over by quite a bit, too, 7.3 points per game. Sixers, so on and so on. Again, you got the Thunder there, 18-11 to the over. And then over on the right side, the number on the right is obviously how many they have gone under, and you're going to see negative numbers. That's how much they've gone under the total by. Like the top three, I mean, they haven't gone under by that much, especially compared to the over side. Only going down 0.6, 1, 0.6 and so on and so on. But the Nuggets are the number one under team. That's right, the defending champions. And then the Houston Rockets, who play some defense and just sometimes forget how to score. But that's what you get with the young team. And then Clippers, 12-17-1. Grizzlies, Blazers, so on and so on. Just kind of gives you a good rough idea, if you're trying to bet over unders. I haven't bet a ton of totals this year. I don't know. I just don't have a great feel for them, at least right now. But I might start getting into them a little bit. But the books are obviously getting sharper as we get later and later in the season on every single prop or bet or anything out there. So that's a peek inside the lines. And now let's get into the best bets. Let's get into it. I got 3 best bets for you today and a Friday parlay. That's right, baby. Bet number 1, the Nets and Clippers money line parlay at -107 on FanDuel. I have not done a ton of money line parlays. It's just been kind of weird out there, but I like this one. So let's start out with the Nets money line. They are at the Washington Wizards. Enough said, right? I can move on to the next one. No, we'll talk about it. Nets are rested because they practically sat absolutely every starter. A couple starters played for like the first quarter, and that was it. But yes, this game is in Washington, and no, I do not care at all because Washington is not very good at home. No team in the NBA gives up more points at home than the Wizards. The Wizards score the same amount of points at home and on the road. It's not like their offense is any better. And they are the second worst ATS, that's against the spread team, at home this year at 3-9. They are 2-10 straight up at home this season. That's right, they've won 2 of 12 games. These teams have actually already played each other twice. Both in Brooklyn, the Nets beat them by 8, and the Nets beat them by 27 in those 2 games. Wizards scored under 100 in both of those games. So I think it's a good matchup for the Nets. They used their length and athleticism, and they did a good job slowing down Kuzma. He only scored 15 and 17 in those 2 head-to-head games. And when Kuzma doesn't score a lot, as you see, they don't score 100. They don't have many weapons on the offensive end. So it's a good matchup pretty much for every Nets player, too. We'll talk about one of them a little bit later. But Brooklyn is 6-8 straight up on the road, which isn't terrible on the road. 7-7 against the spread on the road. Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, those guys should have some big games. Give me the Nets to take care of business for a third straight time against the Washington Harry Potters. Next one, Clippers money line. If you get this early, you could get some value, and that's why I'm jumping on it, because John Morant's status is still up in the air. He's sick. He sat out yesterday, and he may or may not play. If he doesn't play, I think the odds jump up pretty high, and that's why I want to take advantage of it. So also, I do like it without John Morant. I mean, if John Morant plays, just so you guys know. So, also Santi, I'm going to say this wrong. Santi Aldama is also questionable with an illness for the Grizzlies, averaging 11 points, 5 rebounds for them. So, decent little player. But Jaw's teammates, they are on the second night of a back-to-back. They just lost 142-105 to the Denver Nuggets. That's right. They got absolutely demolished. The Clippers have really turned it around. If we just talk about them for a little bit, 8-2 in their last 10. They are 8-2 straight up in their last 10 home games as well. The offense is kind of humming. They're averaging 124 points per game in the last 10 games. That's a lot, especially for a Clippers team that sometimes had some nights where they struggled offensively, but they've been humming. And it's because of James Harden, or one of the reasons. It's kind of been ever since they moved Russell Westbrook to the bench. Also, that's been a huge help. He's actually thrived and played well in his limited minutes. He's playing a little bit more here and there lately with Kawhi Leonard out, but I think Harden's just really the key to this right now. 20 points, 6 rebounds, 9 assists per game in the last 10 games for him. And yes, like I mentioned, Kawhi, he is probably out, but he's questionable right now. So stay tuned for that. Even if he doesn't play, I think the Clippers are going to roll here. They have lost 2 of the last 3 games without Kawhi Leonard, but they were also against 2 of the top 5 teams in the NBA, in the Thunder and the Celtics. So this one's a little bit different, going up against the Grizzlies, who may be without John Morant. So give me the Clippers to win at home, along with the Nets money line for minus 107 as my first best bet. Our second game takes us out to Denver, Colorado. We got the Nuggets hosting the Oklahoma City Thunder. That's right, the Nuggets minus 3.5, over under 229.5. I'm not going to get into all the ATS and over under because we just talked about it, but the Thunder are the number one against the spread team in the NBA, and the Nuggets are the number one under team in the league. So I'm going to get right into it because it's a game bet. That's right, we don't have a player prop yet. It will be coming. Don't worry. It is the Oklahoma City Thunder plus 3.5 at minus 110. I think this is too many points. I'm gonna be honest with you. The Thunder are as good as the Nuggets so far this season, in my opinion, especially with Aaron Gordon now out for the Nuggets. He is a piece. He's not a huge piece. It doesn't mean they're a terrible team or anything like that, but I do think it helps a little bit when you're playing teams like the Thunder. And they get to play the Nuggets on a second night of a back to back. Like I just mentioned, the Nuggets just put a beat down yesterday. So they didn't play full minutes, but it's still the second night of a back to back. So we have the chance to see maybe Jokic, maybe Jamal Murray sit on the second night of a back to back. I don't know if they will, but just because we have that chance, this could be huge line value at plus 3.5. Because if one of those two sits, I promise you this line will not be Thunder plus 3.5. So in the last meeting, the Thunder beat the Nuggets on Shea Gilgis Alexander's buzzer beater, or a shot with 1 second left. That was a wild game. In that game, the Thunder outscored them 64-52 in the paint, and Chet Holmgren had 8 blocks. That's right, 8. The Nuggets as a team, 0 blocks. He is a real problem for opponents. He's been the difference maker, I think, from last year to this year, other than the team just being young and getting better into this year also. But Chet Holmgren has been absolutely huge for this team, like we all kind of thought he would. In that game, also, the Thunder had 6 players in double digits, including 24 points from Jalen Williams. So now, some against the spread numbers for these teams. The Thunder, on a rest advantage, they are 5-1-1 against the spread. So when they have the rest advantage in the game, they are doing well. Thunder also 5-1-1 against the spread as an away underdog. That means when they are on the road and they are underdogs like this one. Nuggets are 1-3 against the spread when they have a rest disadvantage. So hopefully you followed all that. I got this on Team Rankings, by the way. Team Rankings is awesome. It has anything from offensive and defensive stats to against the spread, over unders, all that kind of stuff. So go check it out. You can do it for NBA, MLB, NFL, all that kind of stuff. So both teams really don't turn the ball over. These are first and fourth in turnovers this year. But I just like the way the Thunder are playing right now, honestly. And I think it's a great spot in the schedule. I may sprinkle a little bit on Thunder money line. In fact, I almost took him as my best bet, but I'm going to play it safe. Give me the plus 3.5 in a really close game that I think the Thunder have a chance to win. All right, this third and final bet before we get into the Friday parlay is the Atlanta Hawks hosting the Sacramento Kings. Hawks -1, over under 250.5. Against the spread, not much here, except that the Hawks are terrible. Kings 15-14 ATS, 7-6 ATS on the road. The Hawks are unbelievably bad against the spread, 7-23. Everybody, it is dead last by far, including 1-11 against the spread at home. That's right. If you faded them when they were at home this year, so far in the first 12 games, you would be 11-1. That's crazy. Over under Kings 16-13 to the over, Hawks 19-11 to the over. We have a same game parlay and we got some player props. Here we go. It's 3 legs. Give me Trae Young 25 plus points, Trae Young 10 plus assists, and Domantas Sabonis 8 plus rebounds. If you cannot do these alt lines, I can already see it coming already in the comment section. I don't get this. Why do you do these alt lines? If you do not get it, I would probably lean on the Trae Young over 11.5 assists as on its own as a pivot. Every time I say pivot, I think of that episode on Friends. Pivot, pivot. If you get that, you're my friend. Anyways, Trae Young, 25 plus points. This is an overdream. This game is an absolute overdream. The over-under is 250.5. Two teams that don't play defense, and they are both top 10 in pace of play. Trae's been on an absolute tear lately. He is scoring 30 plus points in 10 of his last 12. That's right, 30 plus. In the month of December, he is averaging 30.1 points per game this month. That's crazy. And also this month, averaging 22 shot attempts. I mean, that's a lot of shots, guys. He's going to get some points when you take that many, including a little over 10 3-pointers per game. All we need is 25 from Trae. He now faces a Kings team, a team that I talked about earlier. They play fast and they don't play a lot of defense. Against point guards in the last 30 days, they're a little above average. They're allowing 24.03 points per game, and they just gave up 29 to Anthony Simons last game. It's not like they're elite or anything, but they are a little above average. I don't think Trey should have an issue at all scoring 25 plus points in this fast paced game with a very high total. Next one, Trey Young, 10 plus assists. I absolutely love his assists. I don't know why. I just fell in love with it when I saw the line, saw the matchup. He's an assist machine. In the month of December, he is averaging 12.4 assists per game. 12.4. That's crazy. He's also in the top 3 in the league in potential assists. Like I mentioned before, he's averaging close to 20 per game. And with him being an elite passer, good court vision, he usually turns a little bit more than 50% number that I talk about of his potential assists into assists. He has 13 or more assists in 5 straight games. Again, like I said, I don't mind the over 11.5 on its own. And 10 plus assists in 8 straight games. So he's done this in 8 straight games now, and he has not had less than 9 assists in a game since November 26th versus the Celtics. That's wild to me. He's just an absolute monster. Now he faces the Kings, who give up the 4th most assists to the point guard position in the last 30 days. And like I said, I almost made his over 11.5 as my best bet, but I'm going to go with these 3 legs. And the third one is Domantas Sabonis, 8 plus rebounds. This is to reduce the odds. That's literally all this is, guys. The odds were a little too high with just Trey 25 and 10. And his line is set at 12.5. I'm taking all the way down to over 7.5. All he's got to do is get 8 plus rebounds. He has done this in 28 of 29 games. If this final leg costs me a win, I will lose my freaking mind. He has got to get 8 plus rebounds. Again, 28 of 29 games. He's probably going to get 10 plus. He could go over his 12.5. The Hawks have given up the 7th most rebounds to the center position the last 30 days. So that's my same game parlay. Give me Trey Young 25 plus points. Give me Trey 10 plus assists and Domantas Sabonis 8 plus rebounds. Put it together any way you like it, honestly. Like I always tell people, I've had comments or conversations with people in the comment section. These are here to help you. I hear people sometimes after my bets say, "Hey, I took your Nuggets bet, but I didn't like Jamal Murray. I took this other one. We got a winner." That's perfect. That's what I want you guys to do, is just kind of work some of my bets and my info to your own bets. Sometimes you might tail me. Sometimes it might be just part of my bets, but that is the whole point of these videos. And when you watch other betting videos, I think you should watch it like that. These are informational videos, not just tail the bet and then either happy or mad after that. Like, you should do some of your own research. So that's just my little rant. But anyways, that's my third and final bet. And now it's time for the Friday Parlay. The Friday Parlay, the last one of 2023 in the NBA. Give me DeAnthony Melton over 22.5 PRAs, Cam Johnson 15 plus points, and Chet Holmgren 2 plus blocks. I got that at plus 344 on DraftKings. Let's talk about Mr. Melton over 22.5 PRAs. I like this bet on its own. And like I just ranted about, if you want to use this info that I'm about to give you and you love it and you want to do it on your own, go for it. I just put a parlay together for you guys, and hopefully we can get a winner. But I do like this play on its own as well. He's playing huge minutes with Embiid out. In 5 games this season without Embiid, 30, 30, 37, 37, and 37. That's how many minutes he's played. And PRAs 25, 26, 27, 27, and 28. Very consistent and going over this pretty easily in all 5. And also, he's taking a lot of 3 balls, which really helps a guy like him because he shoots the 3 ball well. He's taken 7, 9, 12, 10, and 5 threes in those 5 games. He rebounds the ball also better. He's averaging 5 rebounds per game in those 5 games. He's facing a Rockets team who isn't a great matchup, and I think that's baked into this line a little bit because I think the line should be closer to 23.5, 24.5. But the Rockets are a slower defensive type team, but they've still given up a little over 30 PRAs to the shooting guard position. And I know it's the whole shooting guard position in general, but not a lot of other people play shooting guard other than Melton when Embiid is out. They don't play a lot of bench players. I'm going to be honest with you. So I just need 23 out of Melton for the 6th straight game without Joel Embiid as leg number 1. And then we go to Cam Johnson, 15 plus points. He plays for the Brooklyn Nets. He's been on a roll lately, and you know I love me some power forwards versus the Washington Wizards. Wizards, as you just saw earlier in this video, give up the 5th most points to the power forward position at 26.36 per game. And he's been playing well. He scored 17 or more now in 4 straight games, including 24 last game. In his last game, he sat last game like pretty much every other Nets player did. So he's going to come into this game rested. And now they're playing the highest paced team in the league in the Washington Wizards, who cannot defend the power forward position. So give me Cam Johnson 15 plus points. I think his line is actually at 15.5, so I'm not really moving this down much. Excuse me, my voice is going out. And the final one, Chet Holmgren. Chet Holmgren. 2+ blocks. That's right. It is just an alt line because his actual line is set at 2.5. That's right. And I don't mind 2.5 on its own either if you want to just play that and not do parlays. Did I mention earlier? He had 8 freaking blocks against this team last game. 8 blocks against the Nuggets. He is averaging almost 3 per game. I am taking the 2.5 line down, and all I need is 2+ blocks. He's done that now 9 of his last 11 games. I don't see why he doesn't get 2 more blocks. I don't know how else to analyze a blocks bet, except for when they shoot the ball, I think he will touch it while it's in the air. How's that for a little analyzation? But that's my final leg. So give me D'Anthony Melton of the Sixers over 22.5 PRAs, Cam Johnson 15+ points, and Chet Holmgren of the Thunder 2+ blocks. Put it together, you get plus 344 on DraftKings. We got to get a winner, right? It's the last parlay of 2023. So, wow, that was a good video. Hopefully, we got some winners. We end strong. Let's check out the bets recap. All right, we got a full card for Friday, December 29th. We start with the Moneyline Parlay, Nets and Clippers. Put it together, get minus 107 on FanDuel. And then the Thunder, plus 3.5 at the Denver Nuggets. Got that at minus 110. And the same game parlay, Trae Young, 25+ points. Trae Young, 10+ assists. And Sabonis, 8+ rebounds. Got that at minus 119 on FanDuel. If you need a pivot, like I said, it's Trae Young over 11.5 assists would probably be my favorite one. And then the Friday parlay, Melton over 22.5 PRAs, Johnson 15+ points, and the Chet Holmgren 2+ blocks. Man, let's get a 4-0 sweep. That would be absolutely incredible. If I have any added plays, I'll put it in the pinned comments below, like always. And I've actually started to play a lot of leans in the Discord. I even put some leans below in the video yesterday. I'm 5-1 in the last 6 leans. So if I have any leans on any pinned comments, I will also add the leans just to help you guys out. But if you're in the Discord, go join it. Link below. You guys will get the leans there too every day. So that's what we got. Again, thank you for all the support in the year 2023. This is the last basketball video of 2023. We will have one for Monday, but that is January 1st. And we still got one more video. It's the NFL player prop. Stay tuned for that. It will come out late Friday night for NFL Week 17. Thank you very much. Hope everyone has a great Friday. We'll talk to you soon.